my name is Nicole Mancini, and I'm going to give you a tour of my final project for my EDUC 696 Capstone course. So my website here is addressing the issue of parent communication and most importantly, student health. As the obesity and overweight rates continue to rise here in the United States, student health is something that we should all be worried about, not just the health and physical education teachers, but also the core subject teachers, the administrators, the community members, and the parents and students especially. So what I did was I created a website for the school that I'm going to be teaching at. I'm going to be a distance learning teacher in Loudoun County Public Schools. And as one of the physical education and health teachers, I created this website so that I could communicate home with the parents, the students, and also give them some information. So you'll see here on my homepage, I have various tabs on the left-hand side. Most importantly, at the top here, I wanted to highlight some school events and community events. So one of our big school events that we are going to participate in is called a bucket list challenge to try to get the students to be active and engaged outside of school and being in their community. So they can walk, run, or ride their bike. And this bucket list challenge actually puts them in the running for a $100 gift card for Potomac River Running. So this is a really cool event that not only incorporates the community and getting them out and doing stuff active, but also one of our local stores. We'll also be participating in the American Heart Challenge, which is a great event that's going to help raise money for the American Heart Association. If you click on the community events tab, I've looked up some local events within the community. We have a couple triathlons coming up. I've also put the information about the event, some self-guided field trips. So these two tabs are going to be really important, and they'll be constantly changing as I'm going to update them and continue to keep the community, the parents, and the students abreast of what's going on here at the school, physically, activity-wise, and also within their community. I also wanted to highlight some areas of some things going on in PE. So this is another area that I will continue to update as we are doing different units throughout PE. So one of our units that we did this past year was a dance unit. We had Redskins Fit come in. We did a pickleball unit. So I'm going to be highlighting different activities that we're doing and including some pictures of students so that the parents can see what the students are doing, and the students really enjoy seeing their pictures of themselves on the website as well. I put the LCPS weather guidelines if we are going to be participating in activities outside. Like I said, I'm going to be mostly a virtual teacher, but I am going to have the students be active outside while I'm lecturing, so they might take their device with them. So I wanted them to know what the weather guidelines might be in relation to that, how hot, how cold it can be when we go outside. As a health and PE teacher, I thought it was really important to also incorporate the physical education standards of learning. There are national PE standards that are established by Shape America as well as Virginia standards. So I wanted to highlight both those areas for the students and the parents so that they can reference those, and I'll be referencing those as well as I go throughout my lessons. This is standard, 6.1. We're going to be talking about mental health or whatever the case may be. And then obviously, as a capstone project, we needed to include some research. We've done a tremendous amount of research over the last year in our learning here. So I wanted to put in some of the important information, some of the important literature, the research that I found about why it's important to be physically active. Some of the studies I found about what physical activity does for us, as far as the school and academics and behavior. So I included a lot of different research articles that I have found over my last year of learning. And I wanted to highlight some of those so that the parents understand and the students understand why I want them to be physically active. And then I also included this one right here, the benefits of yoga. Because during this, time over the last 18 months with COVID, mental health has been something that has been drastically affected by all of our teenagers, young adults, elementary school kids. So there are a lot of research-based benefits to yoga that I really wanted to highlight here. And I wanted the parents and students to understand that mental health is really important to us in health and physical education. And so we are going to be focusing on that as well. I have a little tab here on Meet the Physical Education Teachers. I do have two other physical education teachers that will be teaching me with me in this school, but I don't know who they are just yet. So I just have my information here and a little bit about me and my family. I included some rules and regulations. We actually created a video, really cute, with our mascot, and you can click on the link here and it will go over some of the basic rules and regulations that we have had, in particular with the locker room, when we had a locker room. And part of the being healthy is not just always about being physically active. So I wanted to make sure I included a link here, recipes for the family. And one of the things that I plan on doing once school starts is, outside of just links to great family dinners or recipes, I wanted to actually include some videos of myself and my own daughters creating some of the recipes. So I will be updating and uploading videos of my daughters and I creating some of these great recipes that I'm going to attach here. I think the students will really enjoy that, and I think it's a great way for the parents to also see that I'm not just, a practice what I preach kind of person. I'm actually doing it. I'm a role model, and I'm trying to, show that my family is engaged in this as well. And then news for you and health and wellness. So as the seasons change, as different regulations come out, I want to make sure that I'm highlighting some things here. Not just necessarily in the community, but you'll see here I have the 7 ways to prevent holiday stress for your children and sleepless nights. So as we go through different health topics, I might add in some different news articles that pertain to that specific health topic, or things that are just going on. As we approach Halloween here in just, a few short weeks, I'm going to be putting articles in here about, candy choices and which ones would be the healthier candy if you are going to be trick-or-treating, and how to be safe during Halloween and make sure that you're seen and, your costume is something that is visible so that you are being safe in the community when you're out there doing that. So I will be incorporating some different things there as well, but I did just include some of them here so you get a justification of what that might look like. And this is my favorite tab here, the physical activity at home, because like I said, it is important for the students to obviously be physically active with me in class, but I also want them to be physically active at home. So I included some of my favorite videos here that I've done with my own daughters. 30-minute hip hop Tabata class, yoga, like I said, important for our mental health as well, and a kids HIIT class, which is actually one of my daughter's favorites. She really enjoys the high intensity training, and it's appropriate for all age levels here. So I wanted to highlight that specific area. One of the biggest things that I think is important as a health and PE teacher is that communication with the parents at home. And that's why in my physical education units tab here, you'll notice that I have lots of PE units. These are all the different PE units that we are going to do. And when you click on a tab, we'll just click on softball. There is a link to the notes section. I'm going to be teaching, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So we would go over softball in 8th grade. There's a link to the Google Notes here when you open it up. And there's also a video here on the rules of softball. All right, let me click on another one. For whatever reason, that notes one doesn't want to work. So as you open here, you'll see a video that I've included from YouTube on the basics of each one of these sports. And then there's also, we have the review guide. So we created this golf study review guide, kind of gives you some basic information about golf. So I did want to include that in here as well, because I feel like the parents have a lot on their hands, and when they have to log into different learning platforms like a Blackboard or Canvas or Schoology or whatever the school is using, it can be a lot. So this website creates a one-stop shop where they can come and find a video to do a workout at home with their kids. They can look at different recipes. They can look at some of the research and, find out what their students are doing in class. They can also click on the notes and help their students review how to do bowling scoring, because they might have a bowling scoring test coming up, right? They might look at the floor hockey information here, and they might open up the notes here, and they're going to use these floor hockey notes to help their students study for the floor hockey test, right? So I wanted to make this website something that was accessible and easy for everybody to use. And then when it comes to technology in physical education, over the last year, we've learned to use a lot of different forms of technology, but one of the ways that we incorporate it here in PE class is through project-based learning. So when you open this tab here, I have a little information about what project-based learning is and why it works. And then there's a link to our actual project-based learning assignment that we had the students do, right? So when you open up this document here, it goes over the presentation, what they needed to do. The students were creating an exercise playlist that we were actually going to use in PE class. So there's some reason behind that, but ultimately this project-based learning thing is how we incorporate, just one of the many ways we incorporate technology in PE. And then I've attached different health units, the family life education, and my last but not least, one of my other favorite parts is how we can incorporate physical activity in the classroom. So I have included some videos here for the teachers to use in the classroom. Like I said, I wanted this to be a one-stop shop so the teachers can see some of the different things that they can do in their classroom to help address that issue of student health and helping to keep the kids active even when they don't have physical education. And then as you click down here, these links just take you to some of the resources that we use in PE, some of the more prominent ones. Let's Move, Open PE, and MyFitnessPal. So I hope you've enjoyed a little tour of my website, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.